All right, crypto fam, listen up. What if one of the biggest, most respected financial institutions in the world, someone like Morgan Stanley, actually saw Ripple and XRP years ago as a leading alternative to, yes, Swift? And there's documented proof? This is the kind of historical recognition that changes everything. What is going on, you incredible crypto investors? Welcome back to Goldrush Crypto Daily, the place where we bring you the crypto news with the energy it deserves. I'm your host, Goldrush, and today, we are diving straight into an incredible report from Daily Coin that highlights a fascinating piece of historical documentation about a major financial giant's view on Ripple. Get ready to feel unbelievably bullish about the long-term institutional perspective on XRP's potential. All right, let's get straight to the source and dive into this report from Daily Coin. The headline is powerful. Morgan Stanley considers Ripple, XRP, as leading alternative to Swift. Morgan Stanley considering Ripple/XRP as leading alternative to Swift. Yes, please. SMQKE cited a passage from Volume 36 of the Review of Banking and Financial Law, referencing Morgan Stanley's remarks from a 2016 report titled Global Insight: Blockchain in Banking, Disruptive Threat or Tool. SMQKE cited a passage from a legal/financial review, referencing Morgan Stanley's remarks from a 2016 report. Okay, this isn't just recent speculation. This is documented history from years ago. The excerpt clearly states that Morgan Stanley identified Ripple's payment system as capable of shortening settlement periods, increasing transaction speeds, and reducing fraud. The excerpt clearly states Morgan Stanley identified Ripple's system as capable of shortening settlement periods, increasing transaction speeds, and reducing fraud. These are the exact problems Ripple was built to solve, and Morgan Stanley saw it way back in 2016. Furthermore, Morgan Stanley was documented as having considered Ripple to be a leading international payment alternative to Swift, the long-established global financial messaging network. Furthermore, Morgan Stanley was documented as having considered Ripple to be a leading international payment alternative to Swift. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. A leading alternative to Swift. Coming from Morgan Stanley. This isn't some small firm. This is a global financial giant. Infrastructure considerations behind the trading news. This context adds weight to the broader implications of Morgan Stanley's reported crypto expansion. Infrastructure considerations. This context adds weight to Morgan Stanley's reported crypto expansion. It's not just about them exploring trading. This historical context suggests a much deeper look at the underlying technology and infrastructure. Although the CoinDesk tweet did not mention Ripple, the resurfaced legal and academic documentation reveals that the firm had, at least at one point, publicly acknowledged Ripple's technology as a viable infrastructure upgrade in the global payments sector. CoinDesk tweet didn't mention Ripple, but this resurfaced documentation reveals Morgan Stanley publicly acknowledged Ripple's technology as a viable infrastructure upgrade in global payments. This documented record is incredibly powerful. The quote is from a reputable academic publication and directly references a Morgan Stanley-authored analysis, indicating institutional-level consideration of Ripple's distributed ledger approach. Quote from a reputable academic publication, directly referencing a Morgan Stanley-authored analysis, indicating institutional-level consideration of Ripple's approach. This wasn't just a casual mention, it was a serious analysis by the institution itself, a broader strategy beyond asset trading. Morgan Stanley's interest in enabling crypto trading through its E-Trade platform marks an incremental step in integrating digital assets into mainstream finance. Morgan Stanley enabling crypto trading through E-Trade is an incremental step. Good news on its own, yes. However, SMUKE's post places this move within a broader historical context that suggests Morgan Stanley's crypto strategy may not merely be about trading functionality but could also encompass infrastructure-level adoption and alignment with blockchain technologies acknowledged by the institution. However, this resurfaced context suggests Morgan Stanley's strategy is not merely about trading. It could encompass infrastructure-level adoption and alignment. This is the bullish interpretation. Their interest likely goes way beyond just letting people trade speculative assets. They are looking at how this technology can change their core business. Although Morgan Stanley has not recently reaffirmed this specific stance on Ripple, the documented record stands as part of its publicly available analysis. They haven't recently reaffirmed it, okay. But the documented record stands. It's part of their publicly available analysis. They put it in writing. That holds significant weight, even years later. As institutional involvement in crypto continues to advance, references like this serve to highlight how leading financial players have been evaluating blockchain applications beyond speculative assets, including payment and settlement innovations such as those enabled by Ripple. As institutional involvement advances, references like this highlight how leading financial players have been evaluating blockchain beyond speculative assets, including payment and settlement innovations like Ripple. This shows the serious, long-term perspective institutions have had on Ripple's technology for real-world use cases. But the power of this historical recognition from a giant like Morgan Stanley is truly amplified when you think about what it means for XRP's future potential. Let's connect the dots and see why this is such a monumental piece of news for the XRP army. Alright, let's reinforce why Morgan Stanley seeing Ripple as a leading alternative to Swift is such a huge deal, drawing more insights from this daily coin report. They're highlighting the weight of this recognition. The report makes it crystal clear. In 2016, Morgan Stanley, a top-tier financial institution, saw Ripple as a leading international payment alternative to Swift. This wasn't just a fleeting thought. It was part of a published analysis. In 2016, Morgan Stanley, leading alternative to Swift. It was in a published analysis. This wasn't a rumor. This was a documented evaluation by a global powerhouse. My personal opinion? The fact that a giant like Morgan Stanley was evaluating Ripple as a direct competitor or alternative to Swift almost 8 years ago tells you just how far ahead Ripple's vision and technology were. They weren't just looking at crypto. They were looking at replacing legacy financial infrastructure. They haven't restated it yet, but this historical context suggests their current crypto moves are part of a broader strategy. Evaluating blockchain for infrastructure. This is the bullish red. Their interest in crypto is likely deeper than just trading speculative assets. The academic and legal sources add incredible credibility to this recognition. This wasn't just an analyst on Twitter. This was a formal evaluation documented in a reputable publication. As institutional involvement grows, these historical evaluations highlight how seriously they've been looking at Ripple for real-world solutions. The foundation of institutional interest in Ripple is deep and long-standing. My personal opinion? This news is incredibly bullish for XRP's long-term potential. It confirms that major institutions saw the vision and potential of Ripple's technology years ago, and their current moves into crypto likely build upon that historical evaluation. The possibility of infrastructure adoption by players like Morgan Stanley is massive for XRP's future value. My personal take? Incredibly bullish. Confirms major institutions saw the vision years ago. Their current moves likely build upon that. Infrastructure adoption potential by players like Morgan Stanley is massive for XRP's future value. So there you have it, Crypto Fam. A report highlighting a fascinating historical document showing Morgan Stanley considered Ripple a leading alternative to Swift back in 2016. This incredible institutional recognition, combined with their recent moves into crypto trading, suggests a deeper, long-standing strategy that could involve infrastructure-level adoption. This is monumental news for XRP's potential to reshape global finance. What are your thoughts on Morgan Stanley's historical view of Ripple? Are you feeling the bullish energy? Let me know in the comments below. How big of a deal is this for XRP's future? Don't forget to smash that like button if you're hyped about institutional recognition. Share this video with your fellow crypto enthusiasts. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our high-energy, bullish breakdowns. Thanks for tuning into Goldrush Crypto Daily. It means the world to me. Go check out some of our other videos on the channel for more golden crypto insights. Stay bullish, stay focused, and peace out.